So this is our second apartment in Dubai. Nice views. Hi everyone, and happy holidays. I am currently located in Dubai. We recently moved here from Sydney, Australia, with my husband and my dog, and I got transferred with my work. So today's vlog, I wanted to talk about what it's like to move to Dubai and why we decided to move to Dubai, and also to answer a question that some of the law students may have about the possibility of moving globally, working overseas with an Australian law degree. And as you can see, it's possible based on my personal experience. I can share with you that your Australian law degree can offer you a job in a different jurisdiction, and there are ways of getting there, and it depends of course on where you'd like to go and where you want to practice. I chose Dubai. I'll tell you why in this vlog, and also other options that you have as an Australian law student, as somebody who's thinking of studying law in Australia. This question comes up quite often: can I work overseas as a lawyer with an Australian law degree? And I will answer that in this vlog for you. So I'm currently in our apartment in Dubai. This is just a temporary apartment that we have for a month, and it's only been a month that I've been here. I have already started working, and this has been a move that has been planned and also hasn't really been planned. And the reason that we chose to come to Dubai, and specifically me as an international lawyer, I wanted to come and practice in this market and in this region, the Middle East, because of the type of work that is available here. And the work that is available in this region is obviously very, very international. In this jurisdiction, you not only support the Middle East, but also the nearing regions. So you're able to work with those jurisdictions in Africa and in Europe and potentially in the US as well. And the current practice that I'm in deals with regulations, investigations, and arbitration. Now, arbitration is very international. Investigations, things like fraud, corruption, bribery, those things are internationally set, and there are certain international standards, and that is why these areas that you practice in can take you to these markets and offer you the opportunity to practice law doing the things that I just described. In addition, this market is very advanced in terms of its international movement. It's a hub, and then there's also a lot of construction. So I know a lot of construction lawyers. I work with construction lawyers as well. So there's a lot of obviously construction disputes and construction advice that is required. And a lot of my colleagues come from jurisdictions in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the US. And so if you come from a common law country and you've qualified in law in countries like Australia, it is actually quite easy to then come over to a market like Dubai and then practice law in a specific area. Now, obviously, certain things, like if you are a litigation lawyer in Australia, you will pick up the skills that you need for arbitration, for example, but obviously you're not going to be going to the local courts as such. So there is going to be differences in your practice, but if you're a corporate lawyer, if you're an arbitration lawyer, I think it's actually quite an easy transition to come to a market like Dubai. as I mentioned earlier, it's a very international market, and so here, if you have any additional language skills, so for example, my first language is Russian, and so I'm able to then service clients and also clientele who work with the Russian market, and that is also an advantage that you may have if you speak different languages here. Obviously, Arabic is a huge advantage working in this region, however, not required per se, because there are going to be people in your office who will speak Arabic and will help you, and there are obviously professional translation services that you can utilize as well. So apart from the international nature of the work, I also like the fact that there are so many different cultures and people from so many different places that live and work in Dubai, and it is a city that's full of opportunity, and lots of interesting things happen in this region. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of growth, a lot of progress and change, and things happen very quickly and rapidly. So in order to progress in your career, I think this is a really great market. I'm not sure if it's the best place to start your legal career, but certainly if you have 1 or 2 years under your belt, if you've studied in Australia, for example, and worked for a law firm there for a year or two post your admission, I think that you would be in a pretty good position to then come to this market and practice law. So basically, yes, if you study law in Australia, you get admitted, your experience counts as post-admission, so they call it PQE, post-qualification experience, and once you reach that 1 to 2 year PQE, you are then employable or more employable in the overseas markets, because you've had that training that is well regarded, so Australian law education, training preferably in a law firm. International helps a lot, I think, having that connection to the international market, but equally I have heard of people getting very local Australian experience in a very local family-oriented law firm and then moving to places like Dubai to continue their legal career. So there's opportunities through different means. And if you have any language skills, obviously that's an advantage, as I've described before. But yeah, feel free to apply. Recently, the legal market has really taken off. Post-COVID, there's been a boom in demand for good lawyers globally, not only in Australia, but in markets like the Middle East and the UK, and in the US as well. So I would encourage you to think about these opportunities, because they definitely open up your experience. These opportunities will challenge you as a lawyer if that's something that you want to do, and obviously the life experience that you get out of moving overseas and traveling is phenomenal. And yes, there are opportunities out there. So as a law student, I wouldn't limit yourself to thinking I have to stay in Australia once I receive my law degree there. I am a prime example of someone who studied law in Australia, then worked in Australia as a lawyer, and then was able to move overseas and practice law in a different jurisdiction. And I've also had friends that have done the same and have moved to the UK or the US, and some jurisdictions ask you to requalify or pass the bar in the US. In the Middle East, you don't really have to requalify. Your admission, your Australian admission, works well here. But I think in the future, I would like to be admitted as a UK solicitor as well, as a solicitor in England and Wales. So that's something to think about for the future. But hopefully I've given you a little bit of an idea of why we chose to come to Dubai, why I wanted to practice law in Dubai, and also the fact that with an Australian law degree, you're able to then take it globally and practice law overseas and get that experience. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, it's definitely a possibility. So if you're studying right now, wish you luck. Good luck with all your exams and your studies. You may want to check out my other videos on this channel about being a law student in Australia. And I'm hoping to make more videos like these with tips and Q&As. But feel free to contact me on social media, my Instagram at liveshoptravel. And yeah, thank you for watching, and enjoy your holidays and a happy new year.